Hey y'all. Morning. Well, it's morning for me. It's 5:40 a.m. here in Dar es Salaam. I wanted to do this live this morning because there is a lot of things going on, and I wanted to talk directly to the people who understand or who have sights to see and the intuition to understand exactly what's going on, right? Right now, there's so many things happening in the US. And right now, there's so many things that are that are a hindrance to people's growth and success in the United States. And I wanted to do this live because from where I'm sitting, my intuition would have like gone through the roof if I was still in the States, okay? But the situation that we have now between Israel and between the Palestinians and between all of the other things, the US and Ukraine and all the other things, I want to understand. I get it. I understand why people feel like, okay, they're going to go down with the ship. So for those of you who think that you are in the place you're supposed to be in, I'm not talking to you. Okay, I'm talking to the people who have intuition to realize and recognize that this ship, the ship you're on, the USS, the USS US, is going down a path that you need to get out of the way. Okay? And if you have any context of history and you have any context of understanding of what you are seeing on the news or what you're understanding, then you know what I'm talking about. Okay? So, I mean, just to give you some historical context, there are many people, I am very sorry for, those people who have been misled and believe that the people living right now in Palestine and calling themselves the Jews are the chosen people of God because it says so in the Bible. You need to have a historical context for how those people came to be. That nation came to be. They were forced upon Palestine without the consent of the Palestinians. It was just declared, okay, by that ever meddlesome empire called Great Britain that is notoriously known for creating borders, for creating divisions between nations, for creating historical confusion. And Africa is one of those places where they have done that, where they come up with their own ideas of where they think things and people should be. They created the borders in South Africa, moved one tribe this way, moved one tribe that way, and created historical confusion. They have been, manipulating politics for generations. They have brought people from Africa and forced them all to live together and wonder why they can't get along and why they don't have peace. They have divided rivers and countries and colonies amongst themselves in West Africa, forcing people to live together. And what you are seeing here, people who have never historically lived together, they sailed themselves to West Africa and saw one tribe living over here, one tribe living over there. They decided to institute slavery and then force people to live here and create colonies and then put this one in charge and put that one in charge. And you people who are living in the United States don't understand that the state of Israel was created the exact same way colonization was created. We are looking at modern day colonization. We're looking at modern day extinction of people. We're looking at what it looked like when Christopher Columbus came to the New World. We're looking at what it looked like when the Europeans came to America. This is exactly what it looked like. They chose a place, picked a spot on the map because they thought it was good for them. They pushed the people off the land. They pushed the people off the land some more until eventually they completely wiped the people off the land. And then they renamed those places for themselves and even keep some of the old names, the old Indian names in honor of those people. And that, I'm sorry, I took some notes before I came on here because I really wanted to tackle this. And, that's what the Europeans did in Israel. And then they created a whole different institution called the League of Nations to manage that entire experience. So the League of Nations was not set up, and that later became the United Nations. So the League of Nations was not set up to have world peace. The League of Nations was set up to force Israel down the throat of the colonizers. Okay, so with the backing of the United Nations, the backing of the United States, the backing of the Western world on these people who have been living on the land for generations, to colonize that place in an apartheid state. Okay, you can go and look this up. What you are seeing in Israel is apartheid. It is nothing else. It is no less than apartheid in South Africa. It is no less than Jim Crow in the United States. It is no less than segregation. Okay, and they are pushing, if you watch carefully, the historical context of how they have traditionally pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed the Palestinians off of their land to claim it in the name of God, the exact same way how they pushed the Africans off their land so that they could claim it in the name of God. Go and look it up. Okay, they're papal bulls, dum diversas. You can go and look at the Treaty of Tordesillas. You can go back and go back. Okay, if you go back and you know your history, and this is why part 4 is taking so long, because if you don't know your history, you are like a tree without roots. Okay, and so I am pushing the information on you so that you can go and open your eyes, and please stop talking about Israel is the land of the Jews, and it says so in the Bible. Who are the Jews? Who are the original Jews? Where was Israel to begin with? Go and look these things up and stop believing the things that you've been told over generations and generations that those people actually belong there. They don't. Israel is the United States of America, the United Kingdom, and the United Nations in the Middle East. It is their only footing and their only track hold that they could get in the Middle East after they did all kinds of crap in Jordan, all different kinds of crap all over the Middle East. They have no right to be there other than a military occupation. So what you are looking at, if you are Black, you need to understand that what you are looking at in Israel is exactly no different. It is the same playbook that has existed for hundreds of years. And they've created a new system of propaganda to tell people, oh yes, they're supposed to be there, blah, 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 blah. But you go back in history and you look at their track record. And many of you are living in the United States, living in New York, living all over the place. You all don't realize that that New York is Israel. You all don't realize that at least 80% of the finance of Israel comes from New York. You don't realize that all that money that keeps Israel going is coming from the United States. You don't realize all of those billions of dollars that buys all those tanks that is blowing up buildings, killing children, and occupying lands is coming out of your pocket and your tax money. But you sit there and you are financing that war. Yes, you are. Every time you go and you buy something and you pay rent, 90% of y'all are paying rent to a Jewish landlord, and that Jewish money goes back to Israel to financing Israel. Every time you go to the store, that inflation that you keep complaining about, like a dozen eggs costing $6 to $8, if you are talking about inflation, you're talking about financing the military complex that is going back to killing innocent people and children, and it has done so traditionally. But you want to sit there. You want to sit there in the United States and be a part of that party. Once you are there, you are a part of that destructive system. And there are things in this world that you cannot mess with. You really have to understand how these things work. Why did the United States enter the war? There's a bombing at Pearl Harbor that's called blow back. Why was there a bombing in 9/11 where a whole building came down, 3,000 people died in 2011 by some Arab guy that took them 12 years to track down and kill? It's called blow back. They go places, they start wars, they create problems, they create confusion. They settle themselves in the diplomatic distance. Okay? They believe that they're far away from the Pacific, far enough from the Atlantic, that they can go and start any kind of crap anywhere, and it will take people a long time before they actually can get to their doorstep. But it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back to their doorstep. It keeps coming back to their doorstep because there is a God, and that God is good. And that God does not believe in pushing people off land. That God does not believe in killing children. No matter which way you want to skew the Bible, that God doesn't believe that. Okay? So you people who are sitting there, who has your eyes open and your third eyes open in your chakras and your intuition and all of this stuff, and you sit there and you see it and you know it, and you know I'm not lying. You know I'm not making stuff up. You feel it in your bones. The 8 of you who are on this call, I'm talking to you. You feel it. You know it. You understand it. Yet you sit there and you absorb it and you pass it down to your children. You pass these things down to your children. You need to get the hell up on out of there. You feel it. You know it. You understand it. And if you have never heard me before, you hear me now. Get the hell up on out of there. There is nothing there for you. Your simple act of going to the store and buying some milk and eggs, you are financing wars around the world in the form of inflation. Where do you think they get the money from to send Israel all of those tanks, to send Ukraine all of those missiles, to send the latest high-tech aircraft? Where do you think that money comes from? It comes from you. It comes from you and your complacency. It comes from you and your lack of understanding. It comes from you on your refusal to do the research. It comes from you to fail to understand your place and space in time. It comes from you. So you want to sit there and continue to pay the cost of inflation. You want to sit there and complain. You want to sit there and oh Lord, what are we gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna get your ass on a plane and get to Africa and find some Africans and some folks in Africa to work with. Period. Point blank. That is what you have to do, and you have a whole lot more than I ever did. Because when I came to Tanzania, I didn't know anyone. I didn't have anyone. There was no house waiting for me. There was nothing waiting for me. but I am here waiting for you, and you still don't want to come. So are you that stiff-necked and blind, and you're going to go down with a place that has nothing to do with you? That the whole philosophy and the entire concept of your very existence is about oppressing you, and you are financing oppression of other people, other places. Get the hell up on out of there. What are you waiting for? Really, I just want to know. Tell me in the comments, what are you waiting for? Because you have more than what I ever had. I didn't know anyone. I knew no one. Part 4 is coming. Don't worry. A lot of you are like, oh, well, you didn't finish part 4, put up part 4. Yeah, part 4 is coming. It's coming. Okay, but are you ready for part 4? Because you want me to put my strength and my energy behind something, but that for your entertainment. I am not here for your entertainment. I didn't put it out there to be paid for it. I didn't ask for $1 for my story. I put my story out there so y'all can get it, so you can wake up and you can see and you can open your eyes and you can act. Okay, but who am I talking to? You know yourselves. You know yourselves. Don't sit there with the foolishness. Here comes another COVID. Here comes another wave of lockdown. And you want to sit there and wait for it. Yeah, I know, like I'm cussing, but I am cussing. I am cussing because I can't figure out for the entire life of me why we as women with wombs, with an entire hormonal system designed to protect and bring life, can sit in death. How can you sit there? Do you not hear the alarm bells going off inside of you? Do you not see it? What has to happen? Do you have to go through what I went through? What do you need? You need to get up on out of there. Get the hell up on out of there. I'm out my bed. It's at 5:57 a.m. The Spirit woke me up at 5 a.m. and told me to come and speak to my people. So for those of you who are listening, don't let this fall on deaf ears. Okay? What are you going to do here? We got a company here. Come and be a part of that. You got a place to be. Come and be a part of that. Okay, I have gone to prepare a place that where I am, you shall abide. God is here. God is in this place. God is who carried me to this place. Okay, so I am using my experience. I am using my word, strength, and power to empower you. You need to leave there. There is nothing in that web of materialism. It is only there to hold you down and keep you back, and use your energy and your strength to finance their wars, and use your sorrows and your pain to feed their demons. There is nothing there for you. It is like sucking on the breast of a dead corpse. It is finished. It is done. Stop it. Stop justifying. Y'all been waiting. This is your sign. I've been waiting for a sign from the Lord. You think there's a lightning bolt going to come out of the sky? You think there's a white horse going to chase down out of the sky and come and save you and lift you up? No, God works through people. If God is working through me, and I'm sure he is, because he's worked through me and worked for so many people who have come here. So why not you? You need to go. You need to go. It is time for you to go. Pick a place on the African continent. Ethiopia, Kenya, Tanzania, South Africa, Ghana, you name it. The battle is now. Y'all watching all that's happening in the Francophone countries in Africa. Oh, it's time for them to stand up. Well, let me tell you what I grew up reading and knowing. When it was time for the Ethiopians to stand up against the Italian invaders, it was us. It was the Western world. It was free black folk that got on a plane and went to Ethiopia and signed up to go and fight and push Italy out. But in this generation, y'all want to be entertained. You think this is entertainment. You think this is cool. You think this is great that they're rising up. No, we rise up. All of us, all of God's people, all we Black folk, we rise up. Something has happened in a generation, and I saw it between my parents' generation and this generation. Something has happened. I don't know if it's a cell phone. Y'all been lulled to sleep so deep you cannot even feel the fire at your feet. What is happening? Get up, wake up, man. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Get out of your stupor. You're like living, breathing, walking, talking zombies. You want to spend the money and then complain about the war. You're the finance of the war. How do you not see it? How do you not understand it? Because your school doesn't teach you anything. And all the generations before have only taught you about church. Well, this is the church. Okay? This is the church. Where God is, so shall I be. This is the church. So if you want to listen to a sermon for entertainment, listen to this one. Because I can't figure it out. I really can't figure it out. Because in all the years that I spent in America, I would never sit there that long if I had somewhere to go. I would never sit there that long if I knew someone on the continent. I would never sit there that long if I saw someone build a house from the floor up all the way to the top. Every single day, I am building this for our people to come back because we will need a space. We will need a place. Y'all want to read the Bible of for entertainment. You want to read the book of Noah. You want to read all of those things and think it's entertainment and say, well, it's talking about us. It's talking about us, God's people. It's talking about us. Yeah, we're the ones. Okay, so what are you going to do with all that information? If we're the ones, then that should also mean that the prophecies are also about you. So you're going to take those prophecies and sit and use them as entertainment. How? If it's talking about you, act like it's talking about you. If it's talking about you, us, we, then why aren't we acting like it's talking about us? Why are we still behaving like we are not a part of God's people? Why are we acting like that? Why? I know y'all looking at this chat like, oh, Renee, you're crazy. I've always been crazy. I've always been saying what I need to say when I need to say it. And now is the time for me to speak and say the things that I need to say. This is why this channel is not monetized. Okay? I come on here and I talk. I'm not really getting anything too much for doing what I do. I'm paying my internet to be able to talk when it's time to talk. When the Spirit says, get up and speak to your people, I need to be able to say. They want me to move and take off all my COVID and anti-COVID vaccines and anti-COVID this and anti-COVID that. They want me to remove that. So I'm not going to remove it because from the very beginning, some of my entire channel from 3 years ago, I have hidden that content because people were using that content. People were using that content like entertainment. This is not a joke. This is not the time to play. This is not a joke. Okay, so you all need to get the historical context of what you're seeing on television. You need to stop using the Bible to justify the things that you are seeing. You need to figure out the right side that you're supposed to be on. What you're seeing in Israel is modern day occupation and annihilation of an entire set of people. There are people on this planet that you cannot find anymore. They're extinct because of Europeans. They're extinct, completely extinct, but they don't teach you that in your history book. They're people that they have bred out and then turn around and put it in their history books. Well, those people have been extinct. No, they're not. They were bred out. Africans were brought to the New World to breed them out, to mix their race and completely dilute their rights. Go and look up the Coloniago of the Caribbean. Go and look up the Caribs. Go and look up those people. Go and look up some of the people in the Amerindian. Go and look at the Aztecs, the Mayas. Oh, they disappeared. They didn't disappear. They were annihilated. They're completely annihilated. And that is what you're looking at now. They came with their firepower. They came with their guns when these folks only had their spears. They're peace-loving people. They only lived on fishing. There are tribes in West Africa and towns that are completely wiped out. Facts. Reality. And you're watching this as entertainment. You're reading it. What do you do with that information is what I'm trying to get to. You have that information, but yet you are doing absolutely nothing with it. You have the knowledge, the know-how, but you're doing nothing with it. You want to go to Africa, but you're not doing anything with it. Some of y'all have invested in the company. You're not doing anything with it. What exactly are you thinking? I want to know. You have children. I had a child. I came all the way to Tanzania with me and my child, and faith in God and confidence in God. I had no one. There was nobody here in Tanzania on YouTube telling people to come here. There was nobody in Tanzania in Dar es Salaam on YouTube telling people that I have prepared a place for you. Because I did that, and I filmed it, and I documented every single day, because I know that had I had even one person somewhere on the continent, I would have had a better concept, a better idea of where I was going, what I was doing, and how I was going to do it. Organize yourselves, centralize your power. Don't sit there in that shit, man. Excuse my French, but I don't have any other words to tell you. You're sitting in there in that and absorbing it and having it confuse you and having it form your thinking and form your opinions and misshape you. By the time you really have anything to think and say, you're completely disfigured. Your entire thinking is askew. You have no critical thinking skills left. They have turned you into stupid zombies living for entertainment and financing their wars. How can you finance the same machine that destroyed your ancestors? Really? How? I just want to know how. If you have any kind of intuition, use that intuition. Get yourself up on out of there. When times of peace, it's good to go on and come back and look a couple of times, but we're not at peace, we're at war. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. That is the message I have for you today. Get out the way. I have spoken. I have said the things that other people will not and cannot say. I've said it. You're living, those of you in America, you live in a blowback nation, period. You cannot afford that. God gave you life, health, and strength for you to go with these people down their path of murder. Go and read your history. Go and Google the history of Palestine, the history of Israel. This is a country that did not exist in the year 1900. It did not exist in the year 1920. It did not exist. These things came to be the same way how Europe has declared that, oh, I'm going to go live in Africa. I'm going to go and part up some land, not even buy it, make war and push people off and push people to different places. Countries like Tanzania are populated by different tribes that were running from what they were doing in South Africa and Mozambique. Most of these tribes have been resettled. The Great Bantu Migration, people were running because they were running from Europeans. Come on, people. Don't you see? Do you not see it? You don't get it? You need to get it. Go do some research into your history. All what you're looking at is the exact same way they came to Africa and they annihilate people so that they can have land, and annihilated people so they could take their land. All these states and countries that the states and cities that you see all over the United States that did not exist before they went and scraped the people off the land and pushed them out the way. But yet you want to sit there and watch as entertainment. It's not entertainment. It's not entertainment. It is not entertainment. If you believe that you are the chosen people of God, well, guess what? The chosen people of God came from somewhere. And that's right here on this entire continent. Okay? But you can't take the knowledge and the know-how and sit there to justify yourself in that. You can't. That is not for you. It doesn't belong to you. You cannot take that on. You are living in a place, in a space with people who do not believe in a real God. People who believe in a real God knows that there is a thing called retribution. This is why I keep saying I live my life a certain way, not necessarily out of fear, but necessarily because I know that there is a God. And if God is good, and you will also find that if you keep doing crappy stuff, like how they're doing, like killing babies and stealing land and doing all of this kind of stuff, you're going to find that what you have always found is retribution. So I'm telling you all this out of love. It's time for you to go. Okay, I am here. I'm in Tanzania. You all need to go. It is time for you to go. Look at what you're seeing around you. Okay, this is not peacetime. Everything that you have is lulling you to sleep. It's putting you into a stupor and a coma where you can't even snap out of it. You are so desensitized, defanged, and declawed of your intuition and your abilities to make decisions. You are stuck and stupefied, continuing on the way how you have been doing, thinking that, oh yes, I'm waiting for a sign. What sign do you want? You want God to roll out from underneath your bed with a sign that says it's time for you to go? You can't see it? You cannot see it? I'm sure you can see it. Okay, I'm sure you can see it. So I've spoken. I've said what I needed to say. And that's what I got to say. Okay? My story has not changed. I want to reopen my channel, my videos, but if I reopen them, they will all have the same exact date of when I of the date that I open it. So all the content that I have now will get pushed down instead of stay up. But I have not changed. And those of you who've been watching the channel from day one, my story has not changed. The things that I have to say has not changed. None of it has changed. Okay? I shared my very private and personal story with you so that you can see, you can understand, and you can get a realization of where you're living in. But it is so quiet. It is so pernicious. It is so sinister. It's not coming and knocking on your door. The things that are the creepiest are very quiet. You know, I forgot the name of the experiment, but the experiment with the frog, that the frog is being cooked. You know, the fire is a little warm and he doesn't know. And the heat gets turned up a little more and he doesn't know. and it gets turned up a little more and he doesn't know. Because somebody would say, well, why doesn't he jump out of the pot? Because immediately when you go from cool to hot, you can tell it's hot and you jump out. But if the fire is being turned up so low and quietly and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, eventually the frog will be cooked to death. And that's what they're doing to y'all. And I'm looking over there instead of looking over here because I don't want to be paying attention to the count. I don't really care for how many people are on the call or how many people I'm reaching or whatever, because this can be played back in the future. But I want to stay on my message. I want to stay on the things that I need to say. Y'all need to wake up. Wake up. Okay? Wake up. On the day my town went on lockdown at 9 a.m. My county went on lockdown at 9 a.m. and at 5 p.m. I was out because I understood what was coming. I refused to go back to Westchester County, to New York State. I have never set foot back in New York State since the lockdown. I have my reasons. Even when I was leaving America, I never went back to New York State. I went through there. I didn't bring JoJo across that bridge. I went through there to get on the plane. I only wanted to go through there to get out. I did not want to go back into the state because I could feel it. Can you not feel it? Have you not been sensitizing yourself? Have you not been using the things that you see and taking it as information to make conscious decisions? Because if you have been looking at things for years and years and years and years and years, then you should already come to a decision. You should already be able to make a conscious decision based on the information that you have received, and that is what is called intelligence. But you are receiving the information and making no decisions and still confused. You're receiving the information and unable to come to a deductive decision based on the information that you have received. Okay? And that means that there is something wrong somewhere along the line, whether it's in your water or your sweet tea or whatever it is, or your food, or in the GMO stuff they are feeding it to you in that high fructose corn syrup that's in everything, like when they clone Tyrone. You need to be making decisions, conscious decisions with the information that you've received. You need to be making mental notes. You need to be researching things. You need to have a notebook when you watch TV and write things down. And go and do that research and go and get that information. Don't let them give you snippets. The purpose of the news a generation ago was to inform and educate. The purpose of the news now is to entertain and stupefy. So go and get your context, facts. Go and get your own information and make your own decisions based on the information that you have received. I have given you a lot of information today. I know it's late where y'all at, but don't go to sleep on this, because you don't know what you're waking up to. You think it's it's millions of miles away and the Palestinians, hey, well, what they were doing in the Middle East, when people are walking around in the morning of 9/11, they thought the same thing. Oh, it's millions of miles away. Hey, Cass, how are you? They thought it's millions of miles away, whatever they're doing. Whatever they're doing over there, America, it's over there, not over here, and then boom, bam. And then while we're all screwed, you got to go to the airport, you got to basically undress at the airport to get on the plane, right? All of these things are in your history. You cannot have peace in a place that is determined to make war with peaceful people. The Palestinians weren't at war with anybody. It's not like it, the thing that upsets me, it's not like they went to Palestine to intervene in a conflict. It's not like the Palestinians and the Iranians were at war and they went to intervene in that war and suddenly they're there. They stayed in their office and wrote that they will take control of Palestine and they will make it into a Jewish state, because the Jewish people were receiving discrimination from people everywhere. And the only place that they would have is if they go and they push some Palestinians off the land and they could go there and live. So Black people weren't facing persecution everywhere they go. Are you not also facing persecution everywhere you go? Are you not facing discrimination everywhere you go? If you're at work, you got discrimination. If you go to the hospital, you got discrimination. From the last documentary I put out, I tell you what happened when Black soldiers went to war. The nurses didn't even want to take care of them, and they died because they were fighting for the country and got injured, and nurses didn't even want to take care of them because they were Black. So isn't that the highest form of discrimination? During COVID-19, a lot of people were dying because they weren't receiving the care that they needed because they were Black. Black people were dying disproportionately to white people. And we're like, oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. Yes, it was. It was true. Because I have nurses who told me it was true. I have people who can never be nurses again because of what they saw happening to Black people. They can never enter into the nursing profession again. And this is why there's a nursing crisis in Canada and in the United States, because of things that they saw happening to Black people. And I'm not talking just Black nurses, I'm talking also white nurses. So yeah, it was true. There are things that were happening during the last COVID a lot. So is that where you want to be when there is an emergency? When they're going back into lockdown? When this winter is coming and whatever this new strain of COVID that's coming, that's going to be even more deadlier than before, you are in a place where the food is poisoned. Oh no, I've switched to a vegan diet. That won't happen to me. What did you think they're spraying on the vegetables? There's recalls for your spinach. There is recalls for everything. There is recalls for basically every kind of food there is. There are recalls for mushrooms. So what exactly are you going to eat? If you don't have something of nutritional value to eat, your immune system cannot continue to keep up with the fight and the onslaught of what is coming. Oh, I'll just do this or I'll just do that. I only drink bottled water. Do you know where the water comes from? Really? Do you know? Yeah, see, Cass said she's a nurse in Canada. It's 100% true. Okay, so don't let these people lull you to sleep in another lockdown, another COVID situation, right? So they're saying that the Jews needed a place to be because they were facing discrimination. Meanwhile, we cannot trace the Jews back to the exact same land of Palestine. We can't trace the Jews to where they are now, bombing and blowing people back up. Every single bullet that lands on Palestine was financed out of your pocket. Every single bomb that was dropped on Palestine, you financed that through your inflation, through your compliance, through your willingness to sit in the #1 nation that is financially supporting Israel and the Ukraine. You are financing that war. Okay? Why don't you look at Africa as a way to come and finance and support livity, manufacturing, businesses, develop industry, growth, and commerce and trade? What exactly are you studying? Which book are you reading? Are you even reading any books? I know your history system, your school system doesn't teach you what you need to know about history. But hey, I went to the same schools too. My grandaunt lived in the Wagner housing in Harlem when I was a little kid. And I lived with her up down there in the hood during the crack epidemic. I lived through that. Okay? So I had the same or lesser access to information that you and your children currently have. What is the difference? The difference is also I experienced Jamaica, and the education system there is also very fertile and provided me with a base of knowledge and information that I was able to build and grow on. Yes, but is it exclusive in knowledge information? No, it's not exclusive. In fact, in the United States, in the school system, you have a lot more access to content if you want it. But do you want it? No, we are also caught up in our entertainment. We're caught up in looking fly and being fly and looking sharp and being sharp and doing this and having that, and working towards having this new thing and this new material thing. That's how they got you. They got you with materialism, and they got you with entertainment. And you are unable to decipher the difference between reality and all of this other stuff. You are caught in the sauce, in the matrix. You need to go do some research, go do some reading, go get some information. You all need to get the hell up on out of there. You need to go. Do not waste any more of your time. Do not put any more of your energy and your strength behind this place. Put your house in order. Put your affairs in order. Do the things that you need to do that you know you will need in Africa. You need to get the hell up on out of there. Stop using Africa's uprising as your entertainment. Okay? You cannot, you can't have any success or unity with Africa by staying there. You can't. You simply can't. It doesn't make any kind of mathematical sense. You want to watch it, you don't want to go, you don't want to finance it, you don't want to support it, you don't want to be a part of it, but you want to watch it and feel, yeah, it's time Africa rises up. Yeah. Yeah. How to make it make sense? How is that you're so Pan-African and you're so African and you're so this and you're so that, but you don't want to be any parts of Africa? I know that God has blessed me with this place. When I saw it, I knew that I could show people a different side of Africa. Some of y'all didn't even know there are beaches in Africa until you saw me starting showing you that, yes, there are beaches in Africa and I live at it. But you want to stay there and watch and comment and get confused and get in all of the mixing and the people that want to attack the people. If y'all don't realize there is an attack on those of us who have repatriated to Africa, you've allowed yourselves to be a part of something that you don't even realize is going on. You have allowed yourselves to be stupefied because you like to be entertained. That's it. That's period. It is that. You love the idea of being entertained. You're not taking the things that you're seeing and hearing as information to make intelligent decisions with. You have allowed yourselves to be entertained. Can you imagine, had I not been attacked, the floodgates of people that would be people on top of people on top of people over the years? Had Juliet in the Gambia had not been attacked, most of the things that you see on YouTube that are going after the repatriation, the information is being put out there by people who are not in Africa, have never been to Africa, have never done anything, but they sit there and attack and attack and attack to keep you stupefied, because they realize that Black people are going. Black people were leaving. Black people were getting the hell up on out of there. They realized that Black people weren't having it anymore. So now they've come with this new form of entertainment. They're even telling you you're not from Africa. But if you're not from Africa, what do you do with that information? Do they have a way for you get a title to the land that you're supposed to be on? What is the end result of that? What is the end result of that information? And I'm so very sorry for those of you who have been misinformed and misguided and misled down that path, because they take pseudo truths and try to turn it into facts, because they don't want you to fight. They don't want you to leave. They don't want you to come to Africa. They don't want you to be a part of this movement. So they give you half truths and half information, but what is the tangible thing that they give you behind that? Have they formed a nation? Have they prepared legal documents to sue Congress for land? Have they done anything aside from entertain you and tell you that you're not from Africa because there are no boats? This is the stuff that they're telling Black people in America. They're telling African Americans that they're not from Africa because there are no boats. Meanwhile, they cannot tell you the historical context of the slave trade. They can't tell you the players. They can't tell you who was shipping who. They can't tell you who owned the boats. They can't tell you anything. So where is that information coming from? Who are those people? How did they suddenly appear in the time of social media? Y'all need to go do your digging, okay? If someone is providing for you information, it also has to lead to something else, okay? It has to lead to something tangible and factual. You need to tie your information to something tangible and factual. And the information that a lot of people are getting is pseudo information designed specifically for the purpose of entertainment, because they are aware that the American education system does not prepare you for critical thinking and research. And you question the things that you shouldn't be questioning. You're but not asking the questions that are the most relevant. Y'all waiting for this sign, and I'm waiting for this vision, and I'm waiting for God. Shoot, I've been sitting out here 3 years as your sign, wonder, and vision. Many of you have had the privy to watching me at the airport. Get on the plane, get off the plane, get to Africa, filming every day, showing people houses, all different kinds of stuff, be in my Zoom classes with my kid, building a whole house by myself for 9 months, opening it for the same people. Oh, well, I'm about Africans, doing absolutely nothing for Africans, to tear me down. You have been privy to that. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is. I didn't come here by myself. I followed a dream. I didn't come here. I didn't build this by myself. I followed a dream. I followed a vision. Where are your visions? Are you following them? Are you listening? Or are you only being entertained? And at this point, it feels like that's all y'all is doing, is like allowing yourselves to be entertained. Well, we're the original people of God. Well, why aren't you where the original people are of God are? Why aren't you in Ethiopia? If you're a Christian, why aren't you at the root, the source of Christianity, which is in Ethiopia? And why aren't you an Orthodox Ethiopian Christian? If you are a Jew, why aren't you a Falasha in Ethiopia? Why are you picking on these titles and these names and these things and putting it onto yourself and then turning around and say, well, we ain't even from Africa. Don't you realize how confused you are? You are so confused. There's so much smoke. You can't even find the exit to get out. What is keeping you there? Exactly. A house? Are you not worth more than a house? Some furniture? Aren't you not worth more than a furniture? Do you really and truly believe that the education system is going to lead you out? Because the more educated you are, the more the less likely you are with intuitive decisions. You're trusting in this education. Your belief in what someone else has provided for you as knowledge is so deep that you can't even open your eyes to the intuition that great God put inside of you. How? I'm not here for the entertainment. I'm here for the doing. I'm here for the working. I'm here for the intelligent people, the people who can make decisions based on the information that they have received, that they can go and do some research and come to a definitive and a conclusive information, a decision about what they need to do for themselves and for their family. That's the people I want. That's why this channel is only 4,000, not 400,000 people. I don't need 400,000 people who are still sitting in America. And I don't need 400,000 people who are coming to Africa to create more confusion because they're so damn confused to begin with. I have 4,850 people on this channel. Those are the subscribers. It's not to say that other people don't watch. But what I am going to say is for those of you who are watching, this is not entertainment. I did not come to Bahari Beach off of my own volition. I came to Bahari Beach off of a vision. No one brought me to this house. No dalali, no real estate. No one brought me to this house. I came off of a vision. So I want to know, how come y'all so your eyes are closed to this place? You can't even make a decision. Yeah, Tanzania is tough. And it's tough for me because I'm out here by myself. It's tough for me because I'm doing all the work. That is the reason why I'm complaining about Tanzania when it comes to certain things, because I'm alone. The things that that I can do, if Tanzania was structured differently, I could have done a lot more. Yes, probably, possibly. But I'm alone. So I need more people. I need people to come here. I need people to get involved in the business, the right kind of people. I don't need a whole bag of bones. I need people who have training, who have intelligence, who have knowledge, who can help with the marketing and the distribution and the export and the sales of the CMOS. I am not out here trying to rip and run. I am here. I am grounded here. I have mission to be here and raise a child here and be a placeholder for those who would like to come here. And a lot of people have come here. But without unity, there is no strength. Without unity, we will only be only entertaining and spending our money to go, oh, well, I went and and you allow yourself to be switched like this. One person tell you this thing, you're switching like that. One person tell you this and you're switching like this. You cannot commit to one single thing or one single thought or one single idea or get behind one single leadership to say we are working towards this. You have been switched around so much in America that when you come here, you're still switching. You need to get some concept of unity and equality. I have created a space. I have created a company. I have created a business. I have created as much as I can by myself. Okay? But the thing is, a lot of people think that they are helping me. Okay, even if you were helping me, what's the big deal? What is so hard in helping another Black person or a Black woman? What is so hard in that? But let's take me out of the equation, because I did not have to do this house. I didn't have to do any of this. Let's take me out of the equation. What about you? What about you? Can you not help you? Can you not get behind coming to Africa, working with a company that already exists for a product that has a market for our people? Can we not get behind that idea? Can that is so out there? Is it really that out there? Because the Indians are doing it, the Arabs are out here doing it, the Turks are here finding peace and prosperity under the very same concept. So exactly what is the hindrance? Exactly what is the hindrance? Can we not work together? Is that it? Can we not have a company built by the diaspora for the benefit of Africa? Is it that really that hard? I really want to know. It can't be that hard. There you go. So Bongo says, if you are original chosen people, why are you not in Ethiopia? Period, point blank. You want to be entertained so badly. You got stars in your eyes for the people who are telling you things and entertaining you. That's what you gravitate to. Entertainment, not action, not work, not doing, because you think it's so hard. You watch me as a single mother do all of this. Do all of this work, but still you're afraid of it. What is work? If it's hard, then do it hard. If it's easy, get it out the way. What is work? More than the progression towards your own goals. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. And it's hard because we have no unity. That's why it's hard. It's difficult. In this company, you can have many businesses. Okay, in this company, we can have many things. I have created a space and a place by which you can have your residency in Africa doing business. Why is it so hard? Why? I just want to know. Because the information that people is shoving down your throat is not leading you to where you need to be. Take that on board. The information that you are receiving about, well, we're not even African. Okay, you're not African. What do you do with that information? A lot of people, unfortunately, have been stupefied into the church for so long, and they've lived all their years behind the Christian belief system. And then when someone comes along and gives you a little crumb of information, you completely switch, okay, and go to this. and you're adopting the same kind of concept, the same kind of belief system, believing that there is life for you after death. This is life. This is your life. But you adopt to this philosophy that after death, there is going to be this great grand paradise. This is paradise. Don't you hear birds? Don't you see all these colors? What more paradise do you need than this? You create your own paradise on earth while you have life. Many people have lived 40, 50, 60 years as Christians under the concept and belief that you will have life after death. And then you switch into these new belief systems that feed you the same crap, but it's coming from Black folks, so it must be right. Your paradise is in Africa. I need y'all to get that concept in your head. There is no other paradise other than Africa, period. It is why they have been coming here for centuries. There is no other paradise than where you can always have access to sunshine and food, vitamin D and quality food. You have seen me sick a dozen times. You have seen me recover a dozen times because I have access to sunshine and food and people. Okay? So if you are taking on these new belief systems should lead you to the place and the space where you need to be. When you travel all over the Middle East, they have the well of this, where this person from the Quran drank from this well or blessed this well, or where this person tried to do a sacrifice. There are places and spaces that their religion is tied to. Where is your religion tied to when they tell you, oh, we're not from Africa, we didn't come from Africa, we're not Africans? Okay, that's fine. Where is the treaty? Where is the document? Where is the paperwork that says we are a nation? We're a nation. We never came from Africa. We're a nation, and have approached Congress, and we're going to get this piece of land down here in Louisiana where we could go and build our nation and we could go and live. If you're not from Africa and you're indigenous to the United States, why aren't you a part of the Cherokee, the Apache, the Blackfoot, the Iroquois? Why aren't you a part of those people who are sovereign people in the United States? You're not from Africa, but they're not telling you what to do next because they don't even know where to lead you next. You're not from Africa. Black people are not Africans. How can you even as a Black person look at this? You don't want to be a part of Africa because Africa is underdeveloped. Who's going to develop it but you? Who is going to develop it but you? Africa is underdeveloped because they took the developers. Okay? Oh, they don't got no leadership because they took the leaders. You're the leaders. We are the leaders that they took. Oh, they are not organized because we were the organizers. But you want to sit there and let people lead you down some goddamn deep ass rabbit hole that they themselves can't even get into. Yep. If you need to somebody's telling you something, they need to tie that to something somewhere for you to be. Period. They need to be tying it to somewhere that you need to be. Okay? The people who are feeding you that information do not have the historical research, knowledge, and information to enlighten you to what you really need to know. They're giving you pseudo-truths and half-truths, the exact same way they give you the pseudos and halves in Christianity, where they take out the things that you need to know out of the Bible and give you only the bits that you need to, they want you to know. Servants, obey your masters, for you will have reward in heaven for your hard work, for your compliance on earth. Okay? Can you imagine how many people lived and died for generations under that belief system? It's a scam. The same way the Christian church is an everlasting scam, that by telling you and falsifying information, by giving you half truths and pieces and parcels of things. It's a scam. Why? Because if you believe that enough, you're not going to act towards what you need to act towards. Okay? If you are a Christian, go and research in the United States. Where is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church? Go find it. Join it. Go learn Aramaic. Go preach the way they preach. Go and receive how they receive. Go and read the book of Jubilees. Go and read the Kebra Nagast. Go and read those things. Don't pick and cherry pick and make up your own stuff that is keeping you confused and deepening you into this smoke that you can't even see the way out the door. Okay? If you believe the people that are currently bombing the Palestinians to high hell are the chosen people, they wouldn't need no bombs. I could tell you that much. If God loved them so much and gave them a place to be, they don't need no bombs. I know God loved me and he found a place for me. He found a place for me because he knows a place for me is a place for y'all. Okay? I don't need no bombs. A bomb? Literally? Kai said, who stir you up today? I was asleep in my bed minding my own business, and the Bible, not the Bible, but I had a vision that said it's time for me to come and speak to the people. It's time for me to talk to the people, because when I am quiet and when I'm quiet and observing and making notes, the people aren't getting the information that they need to get. So the stir up today was like, you need to get up, girl. You need to get up and go talk, because I don't know who, if 13 people see this and it hits one person, that's the person that needs to hear it. But somebody needs to get this message. They need to get this message. We cannot sit there no more. Okay? With all that's going on, war in Ukraine, okay, fine. America's going through a recession. What do you think the war in Israel is going to do? What comes after a recession? It's called a depression. It's called a depression. And you cannot afford that. You can't afford it. It is going to be hard. If you think you can't pay $6 for a dozen eggs right now, watch. Wait till December. Watch. That it's not going to be $6. It's going to be $10. Your chicken, that's not chicken, that you're overpaying for, you're going to be overpaying for that sack of water and protein and pus that you're all drinking as milk. Wait till January. Watch. This is real life. Go and do your research on inflation. It's the hidden tax that you're paying for. I feel for the Palestinians, and I feel for the innocents that are losing their lives over things that they did not create for themselves on both sides, right? I feel for the innocents, not necessarily for the people who created the war, and believe that it is their right to go bomb other folks. But the innocents, the children, right? And every single time you are paying into that silent war, that inflation, you might as well put your name on that bullet. You might as well write your name on that bomb, because you're paying for it. Go and do the research. Okay. So, hey, Miss Shay, yeah, y'all need to get the hell up on out of there. Get the hell up on out. All right. New COVID is going to come with new restrictions. Before, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Like COVID, like, oh, this world thing, we're gonna do it this way, okay, and then we're gonna do it that way. They remember in the early days of COVID, they told you, oh, it could be spread. It can't be spread by touching. Then it can be spread by touching. It can't be spread by mouth droplets. Oh, it can be spread. They went back and forth with that so many times. Oh, and now it's in the air. You can get it through your eyes. That's what they're doing, bombarding you and confusing you and confusing you and confusing you and keep confusing you and keep confusing you. And at the end, you are so confused, you can't even figure out what is the truth and what is not the truth. You have to make a decision that is going to impact you and your generation and your family. And some of y'all are sitting there waiting for your family. And I can tell you what I know for a fact, what I was told in vision, that if I did not move, they will not move. Period. For years, I have been on Facebook. I've made groups talking to folks, trying to organize, trying to say, well, we need to go back to Africa and we need to do this and we need to do that. Guess what? It came to my vision that if you, Renee, did not move, how can I sit in America and tell Black folk that they need to leave America and go to Africa? That didn't work. That does not work. It's an active thing. Okay? Noah didn't say, well, there's a flood coming. There's a flood coming. What y'all gonna do? What you gonna do? No, he got up off his tail and he went and he built an ark. There is a flood coming. Y'all need to get up into this here ark or you're going to perish. There's a flood coming. And they laughed at him. Okay? And I know that there are things that are coming, and I've been saying it, but people think the things are like something that's going to happen overnight, or we have this apocalyptic thinking of this revelatory thinking that we're in the book of Revelations and everything is going to happen at once, and there is going to be a trumpet blast, and there will be a white horse riding out of heaven, and there will be an earthquake and a fire, and there will be this and there'll be that, and it's going to happen at once, and we the righteous are going to jump up and we're going to see God, and he's going to separate us with a sword, and the angels are going to take us into heaven in a chariot, and we're going to go, what, really? A lot of those things are allegorical. And they're allegorical, prescribed to actual events, real things that you see, okay? But you are busy looking for the actual thing happening. You think you're going to be asleep one night and you're going, boop, boop, and there will be an angel who will open the seventh seal, and you're going to jump up and you're going to da 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 da. No, we have never had that on this here planet. No. God works through human beings. He gives his voice to human beings. He sets his angels in those human beings to speak to you, to preach to you, to talk to you, to open your eyes, to share information and knowledge with you. And that is what you use to make your deductive reasoning. And if you don't believe that, go back again and read your Bible. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, I will declare a thing unto you and make you kings over your enemies. Go back and read that. Out of the mouth and babes and sucklings, out of the mouth of children. So you all need to open your eyes, man. That's what that vexes me. Those are the things that got me up this morning. Like, I cannot believe, I can't understand, with all that is happening now, that we, those of us who are inclined towards Africa, who are Pan-Africans, who believe in Africa, we are not sowing our seeds in Africa to strengthen Africa. Because when them done bum up them one another, all that's going to be left is Africa. The whole purpose of doing what they did in Africa was because of food. 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 Access to food. Controlling land and moving people and controlling sections of land, and even to this day, holding on to colonies and forcing Africans to pay tribute, or lest they be attacked in the Francophone countries because of food. But there is not enough information that people can see that. There is not enough being taught in schools. History is being distorted, and it is being curved, and it is being hidden so deep that when there is actual knowledge and truth, people don't know how to react to it. So I plead for you to go and do your research. Go and look at what's coming next. Y'all never really dug out of that recession with COVID-1. Y'all never really dug out of that. You never really dug out of it, because from COVID went to the war in Ukraine, and now from the war in Ukraine to Israel, and then back to COVID again. And you might not know what it is like to go into a supermarket and there is no food in there because you don't know that you're at war. When the United States is at war, no one knows. You don't have any scarcity. You don't have any lack of grain. You don't have any lack of meat. You don't have any lack of poultry. You don't have any lack. Why is that? You are so far away and far removed and lulled into everything is fine. It's going to be fine. But when you go to buy those things, you see that the cost of it is so exponentially great. A dozen eggs is not, in this day and age, can't be no $6, $7. You don't know that you're at war. You can't see that you're at war, but you feel it. You feel it in that cost of inflation that is going to buy their bombs that they can give to any of their friends, that they can give to anybody. Do you know that the United States is trying to haul Africa in their war in Haiti to annihilate the Haitians? Did you know that the United States is financing a $200 million war against Haiti by financing Kenya to go to war in Haiti? How do you feel about that? The first free country in the Western Hemisphere, Haiti, they're using Africa to go and fight against them because America can't do it. So you are financing, by living there and paying that cost of inflation, to pay that cost of that hella high gas, to pay the cost of that food, to pay the cost of all of that stuff. You are living in it. You are financing in it. Unless there was an injunction by the same Kenyans, the Kenyan opposition had to file an injunction to stop the Haitian military from the Kenyan military from going to Haiti. That's what they're doing now. Okay? So y'all who are sitting in America, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? that they want to use Africans to fight Haitians with your money. So you have to really pick a side. You have to choose which way you want to go. You have to choose what you want to do. You have to choose exactly what you're trying to accomplish. This be my email right over here. Let me put it in, right? Because I'm telling you the facts and the reality, but you want to be entertained, and I'm not going to entertain you. I am not going to coddle you, and I'm not going to sing a song to you. This channel, you have never gotten no intros. You've never gotten anything that's like, oh, so entertaining and so beautiful and visually appealing. No, this is the wake up channel. This is the get the hell on up. You go to the banner, it says it's time to come home. Meanwhile, some of y'all are confused about where exactly home is. Africa is your home, period, point blank. Okay? Africa is your home. We know we're not from Africa. There were Africans here before they brought in slavery. Yes, but those Africans also came from Africa. The Africans who were there before slavery came from Africa to Europe and from Europe to Africa as settlers. They also came from Africa. Okay? Well, don't let them tell you, don't let people distort the facts and the information for you. You know, they have to tie the things that they're telling you to states and places and actions. They have to, don't let anybody just feed you some information and leave you like that in the same place they found you. If you are out there looking for the information and you've gathered the information and you garnered the information and you have received the information, that information should lead you to action. Okay? You are a Jew or a Hebrew. Find the land of the Hebrews and adhere yourself to that. Oh, there you go. Maybe they don't like what I'm saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. Yes, time for you to go. Period. Don't sit there and help to finance these people and their wars and their wickedness. Don't sit there and allow yourself to be misled and to be confused into sitting there longer, because that pot is being heated up underneath the frog and you are the frog and it's coming on you slowly and slowly and slowly. You have your intuition, you have your knowledge, you have your know-how. I'm out here in Africa. I'm working on my business. I'm here. I've set up a place for you. I've set up a company for you. I've worked with Africans to help to prepare you. Come on, people. But you're still sitting there under confusion. And I'm not going to waste any more of my internets on y'all, because you are the ones who have to now go and do your research. Stop using the Bible and things that you don't have enough access to information to. The Bible is not a history textbook. You have never received the history textbook that tells you all that you need to know to make proper decisions for yourself. Stop using that Israel is the land of people. If you believe that you're God's chosen people, you need to be in God's chosen land. God wouldn't choose a people, a melanated people, a black-skinned people who need all of that sunshine and vitamin D so that they could do all that farming and have access to that food, and put them in somewhere where they don't have sunshine and food. Think about that. If you are God's chosen people, you need to be on God's chosen land, which is Africa. God's chosen land. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me where all the diamonds in the world comes from. All the sparkly diamonds in the crown of King, whatever his name is, where they come from. All the rubies and all the sapphires, where are they coming from? All the most expensive things, the gems and the jewels, where are they coming from? The cocoa and the chocolate, where is that coming from? The corn and all that stuff, where did they learn how to grow that? The rice, where did they learn to grow that? People, come on. If you are God's chosen people, you need to be on God's chosen land. Period. How? I don't make it make sense, because it don't make nothing. It don't make dollars to me, but make it make sense, please. If you believe that you are God's chosen people, you need to be on God's chosen land. God chose Africa. Africa is blessed. Africa is blessed. Africa is blessed. It's them who came here and brought their curses and brought their problems and divided this and divided that and took control of this and took control of that and ran off this one and forced this nation to live with that nation. If there is war in Africa, it's because of them. They brought it. Them caused it. But you want to allow them to educate you and your children about Africa. How? How? I don't understand. How? So no. Yes, see that. So that's what I got to say. Email me. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to get out of there. I've come, I prepared a place, I started a company, I am doing it all. Jamaican people say one un can't kill louse or one un can't clap. And that's the fact. Me alone cannot stay out here and do it. Meanwhile, people want to sit and be entertained and be and lollygagged and be dragged into different directions and being pulled without making conscious decisions about what they need to be, where they need to be, and what they need to be doing. But I can tell you that you're sitting and you're lollygagging and going to the store and buying some milk and some eggs. Y'all putting your names on the bullets that are killing innocent children. Okay? So don't sit back and let this entertainment get to you. Don't sit back and let this entertainment confuse you. Okay? If you know where you're from, you know where you're going. And a lot of people, they want to confuse you about where you are from. They want to confuse you about that. Don't be confused. Don't be complacent. Okay? Act. Act. The Bible is not, when you go and you read your Bible and you read about the prophets, and you go and you read about, you know, all of the Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, they weren't people sitting around being entertained. They were out there doing stuff. They were the doing people. Do not allow yourselves to be complacent and confused. And in your complacency, you are financiers and profiteers of war. That is what you have become. Financiers and profiteers of war because of your confusion. Wake up. Get thee to Africa. Y'all don't have to come up here God chosen people, God's chosen land, Ethiopia, Africa. Period. What more than that you want? Oh, yeah, God's chosen people. If you're God's chosen people, you need to be on God's chosen land. You tell me Where in America has more gold than Africa? Well, you can pick one country, Ghana. You can South Africa. Pick just one country. The Congo. The Congo is what keeps this whole country, this whole planet spinning. Without the Congo, you got no laptop and you have no cell phone. Period. All the minerals are in Congo. That's why there is a secret war happening in Congo, being financed and funneled by your money. Yes, you, in your complacency and your confusion. Okay? Ethiopia, before the Europeans divided Africa and cut out where they wanted to cut out and made borders and barriers, Ethiopia was this whole thing almost all the way down to South Africa. And that is why that ocean that you call the Atlantic Ocean is the Ethiopic Ocean. Go and look at a map before the 1400s. The 1400s, those earlier maps, that land, that ocean called the Atlantic Ocean, that was the Ethiopic Ocean because it led you to Ethiopia. The Indian Ocean has always been the Indian Ocean. So don't let people try to confuse you and misconstrue the information and tell you that, oh, they need to be calling that the Indian Ocean. No, it's that ocean. Go over there. Let them rename that. Go get confused over that one. They want you to look elsewhere. They want to distort you because they know you don't have the historical context. You don't have the research. You don't have the information. You're not looking for it because you're allowing yourself to be entertained. You're using this stuff as entertainment. Well, Africa was never Africa because it was called Alec Beland, and now it's not Africa, it's Alec Beland because you've been entertained. Somebody renamed something that gave you their name. That is an Arabic word, al ekbula el whatever the name is that they're giving you. It is called Africa for the Afar people from Ethiopia. That is why it's called Africa. The Northern African people, the Afar. Go look it up, please, and stop letting this damn internet confuse you. Stop it. Stop it. There is no source. There is no historical source or context. Go read Josephus. Go read the ancient books of the Roman Empire. Please, people. When I see some of this stuff, I blink 3 times and snap my fingers because I don't know what the hell this is. In this age of information, they are churning so much misinformation. But you want to be entertained or believe something so badly because you've been cut off from Africa so long and so badly that you will take on anything that you get. Anybody who doesn't give you research and sources to go and find the that can give you enlightenment is misleading you through entertainment. Because you have been misled so long, they could just dig a new road for you to follow and a new pit for you to fall into. And you're down in there. And you're going to stay in there and have kids in there and have your generation living in that deep, dark, dirty, filthy, stinking pit. And you don't even know it. Wake up, man. Wake up. I have a whole company. I have a business. I have property. I have everything. I prepared a place. But unless your mind is open, you will not see it. You want to continue to use me as entertainment. I'm not entertaining you. You don't like the sound of my voice. You don't like the things that are coming out of my mouth because I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, right? Yep, see that? Ethiopia is the oldest name of Africa. There's the oldest name, the Ethiopic, Aethopic. Okay? Aethopiia, Ethiopia, and the ocean, Aethopic. Go and Google it, go and research, go find a book, go do some digging, go get some knowledge. Okay? And the thing that irks me is like a lot of people are Instagram awakened, they're Instagram enlightened. They're Facebook fact finders. They find all of the information on Facebook. They have lived for 30, 40 years under their shroud of confusion. And they come to somebody else's page who's telling them a little bit about something. And suddenly they're awake and they're ready to preach and apostolize to the rest of civilization without realizing we've been awake waiting for you. We have been here the whole time. The Rastafarians have been here. We've been waiting. We have been awake. We have been awake. So your new enlightenment, you need to spend some time and dig and dig and dig and dig and dig some more. Take a little bit, the little light that they of where you're getting information and where does it lead you to. Expand that. Go listen to Mutabaruka, okay? Mutabarak. Go and do some research. Go get some books, okay? Me, when I was trying to find the truth, I've been seeking the truth since I was 13 years old. I used to walk around with a notebook and write stuff down in. I have gone through every single religion and phase and historical. And what I used to do, I never really read a lot of what the West was providing. I read what the Romans were providing. I wanted to know what was the source of this knowledge that Plato was talking about, Atlantis. So I went and I read Plato's allegory of the cave. I went and I read all of the philosophies and all of the ideas. I am well read and deeply knowledgeable about a lot of ancient history, because we are so caught up in following the frog tales of people who have been confused because they take a little bit of information without actually going and doing the research, the deep dive, the decades and centuries that it takes to really come to real conclusion. They're not going through the books. They're not taking their notes. They're not reviewing the annals of history. They're not taking the deep historical context. They want to take one thing and one thing only: skin color. Skin color alone is the basis of some of y'all religion. Skin color alone is not enough. It is not enough. You need more. You need more substance. You need more information. Well, we're not from there. Okay. Well, I didn't read in the Bible where God chose nobody in no America. He chose us all in Africa. Okay. All of them. Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, you name them. There's all Africans. If you're talking, well, the Bible is talking about us. It sure is. But where are we supposed to be? Was Moses in the United States? Did he part the Hudson River? Or did he part the Nile? Where's the Nile? Ain't the Nile in Africa? But we're not from Africa. Y'all need to open your eyes, open your mind, do your thinking. It's time for you to come to Africa. Y'all don't really need to come up onto me. But I've prepared a place, and I have a business, I have a company, I have things that can provide residency. I have all of the things in place for people to make their reservations, for a place for people to be. But Lord, help these people. Help these people that they can't. They cannot sit there any longer. They have to open their eyes and open their minds and realize and recognize and understand how they are being used and misused and confused. I cannot do it alone. I cannot do it alone. Touch their hearts, touch their minds, loose them from the grip that they're under, the spell that they're under. Only you could do it. I'm just the messenger. I'm just the vessel. I'm just speaking my word, and I hope that it falls on the ears of those who understand what they need to do next. Okay, y'all. I'm going to go. I'm going to go. End this call right here and do with the information what you will. Please, Deb. Yes, thank you. It's time to go. If you have that is stirring up, that is speaking to you, it is time. Stop allowing yourself to be confused and stop allowing yourself to be entertained and stop allowing yourselves to be a part of the he say, she say, they say, we say by people who are not even on the African continent. By people who are not even on the African continent. They have one set that they're dividing and telling them that they cannot, you don't go there, you're not from Africa. And then you have another set that they're attacking the people who are in Africa. Okay? And all of it leads to one place. Confusion. It's leading you to the same exact place. Confusion. To be stuck there and sit there and sat there and being held back by material things, by possessions, while using you and sucking you dry and giving you half lives and half food and half medication and half truths and keeping you in that stupor, zombifying you. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. If you're not from Africa, y'all need to be a part of the Seminoles and the Muskogee and all of those tribes. You need to go on now. Go and connect with those folks. If you're not from Africa. If you're from Africa, you need to be in Africa. You need to find a place that you need to be. Okay, you need to reach out to the people, whether those people are in Ghana, the Gambia, Tanzania, South Africa. You need to get the hell up on out of there. That's all I can tell you. Right? America, $200 million US to finance Kenya to go from Kenya to start war in Haiti. How you feel about that? That's your money. You cannot extricate yourselves from the actions of your government. You are the government. The proliferate is the government. The people who finance these things are the government. Okay? Let the Israelis in New York finance Israel. Let them take only the money from those people. But they're taking your money and your cost of your $11 eggs and sending it to fight and kill other folk. Okay? They want to finance the push back America out of going to California and pushing out the Mexicans. I don't recall that in history. I don't recall anybody saying, well, you shouldn't be trying to push the people out of California. You shouldn't try to be pushing them out of. No, they had a vision. They had manifest destiny. They wanted from sea to shining sea. Every time you pledge your allegiance to that country, from sea to shining sea, you are pledging that you agree with genocide. That's what you are saying with those words. From sea to shining sea, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, you are saying that the Mexicans have no right to be on their land, and they've swept them off, pushed them down into Mexico, and is building a wall, and is the exact same thing that they've done to Palestine. They've annihilated them, pushed them off all the way to the edge of the Gaza, and built a wall, and now they're bombing bombing them to hell with your money. But you are suckling on this breast of this dead carcass. Well, so when the worms come back, don't complain. They're forcing your sons and daughters to join their military, to go to their war, to fight their wars. They're using your money to buy their bullets and build up their industry. If you're really going to sit there in that land, you got to make sure that you're a real capitalist if you really believe in it. You got to make sure you're a real capitalist, and you have to know what a real capitalist is. Yes. You see it there? More, sit up, get them some books. See Bongo give you some book there. How Europe Underdeveloped Africa by Walter Rodney. So I actually have that book in part 4, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. The African Origin of Civilizations, Myth or Reality by Cheikh Anta Diop. I have that book. Many, many, many more books. The knowledge is there. Okay. J.A. Rogers, another great one. Sex and Race by J.A. Rogers. There's so much. And I too have unpublished manuscripts that I've written. But I felt like people weren't trying to read stuff. So I became a documentary filmmaker so I could tell the things that I need to tell. But I haven't used that. I haven't used my storytelling because at the time my powers were needed to make the way. So now I'm storytelling. Now I'm putting all that thing into context. And part 4, I'm preparing you for part 4. I am preparing you for part 4. You need to be prepared. Okay? You need to be prepared. Your mind has to have all the weeds out. You have got to be ready. Okay? Because it's going to be a little bit more than what you think you're getting. Okay? So, yep, lots of books. Go do some research and have the internet. You're getting information, you're getting half truths. All your information is supposed to lead you to somewhere. Okay? Your faith and your belief and your spirituality, because Africans have such strong spirit, so firm. We are connected to a universal creator. Because of that connection, we are being exploited. We were first exploited by the Europeans, and now we're exploited by our own people who are giving you misinformation. You have to ask yourselves, why? Why? All of the information that you gather and you receive is supposed to be leading you to somewhere. Like I said earlier, where the books of the Quran can lead you to specific places, not only in the Middle East, in the Middle East and all over the place, but it should lead you to specific places. If your philosophies are not supposed to leave you in the same thing, because if the philosophies of telling you ain't from Africa, but you sit there and you have to, you just stay right there because you're not from Africa. That is false. That is false prophecies and false information. Okay? That is unintelligent information. Intelligent information should lead you to making intelligent decisions. Period. Okay? So I'll recall the Nile River nowhere in Utah. The Nile is in Africa. And the source of the Nile is right here in Tanzania. Right? The source of the Nile River is right here all the way down here in Central Africa. This whole thing was called Ethiopia. The whole damn thing. So don't let these people mislead you, misinform you, misconstrue, and divide you with their misinformation. Go get the knowledge, Go get the power, go get the resources, get the things that you need to empower yourselves, make conscious decisions. It is time for you to go to Africa. It is time for you to get the hell up on out of there. Africa needs strong, bright, intelligent minds. Okay? You want to know what you're going to do when you get to Africa? We have a whole entire company built around CMOS. That's what you do. You want to know where you're going to live? We got a whole entire house out here. We got some land. Come and build up on that. Okay? Your information should lead you somewhere to make good, conscious decisions for what you need to do for your information is not supposed to take you to more confusion. Thank you. See, Dano? Yes, if you think that if we're God's chosen people, we need to be on God's chosen land. This is the land. Okay? They want to show you pictures of starving Africans. They want to show you pictures of starving Africans with flies around their face and extended bellies and war. They're not telling you they're the ones who created those conditions. They're not the ones that tell you that when they dam the Nile River, that they starve entire populations in Ethiopia. They're not telling you that they're the ones who starved the Namibians. They're not telling you that. They're taking the pictures and putting it on the news. They're not telling you that. They're giving you the ideas of the wars in the Francophone countries and, oh, they're at war in here and they're at war in Nigeria. They're not telling you that they're the ones who created that. They're not the ones telling you that they're at war or they're doing all of this stuff and causing all these problems in Nigeria because Nigeria has so much oil, but yet Nigeria is underdeveloped because they're siphoning off the oil. They're not telling you about the cocoa in Ghana, in Cameroon. They're not telling you about that. All they're going to tell you is it's underdeveloped. Is the first is in the 2020s, in this generation, in this past decade is when Africa had its first chocolate factory. Because y'all sitting there with your knowledge, your know-how, your power, your money. Black people in the West, you're the wealthiest Black people on the planet. You are the most educated people on the planet. Educated Black people on the planet. But you want to be fussing around with this foolishness. You need to take that knowledge and know-how and transport your Black butts back to Africa. You need to get your asses on these planes before you can't get on these planes. Do you remember when they shut down the whole world? The whole world. Do you not recall when they shut down the whole world and nobody could go nowhere? Y'all need to be making the decisions to get the hell up on out of Babylon before you cannot. The first time they shut down, they didn't expect folks like Magufuli to keep the door open for crazy folk like me to come through. But we got them, and I can guarantee you the next lockdown is not going to be like that because they have the people in place that will make sure that all the borders stay shut. And who is behind it is going to stay behind it, and who is outside is going to stay outside. Do not be like the virgins that did not get your oil for your candles, for your lamps. Okay? Do not be like those people. Be the people who can make decisions, make conscious decisions about leaving and returning to the place where they're supposed to be. Again, Africa, the word Africa comes from the Afar people of Ethiopia. Okay? Black people are Africans. We're from Africa. God's chosen people needs to be on God's chosen land. Period. Point blank. They're using your energy and your resources to finance their wars. It is time for you to get the hell up on out of there. Do not wait until it comes to your doorstep. There is a new COVID. There is a war in Ukraine. There is a war in Israel. If you use your historical context, you will realize that it is the exact same thing that they have done to every other indigenous population by scraping them off the land and remapping the place and for out. Mexico, California was once Mexico that had all that gold. And they wanted the land and they got them out. Now they build a wall. They want the land in Israel. They're now forcing the people off and they built a wall. They have created an apartheid state. 90% of Palestinians have been living as refugees for generations in their own country. Financed by Egypt, financed by the United States, financed by the United Kingdom, who created the state of Israel and forced the Palestinians off. Does that not sound familiar? How they wanted to come to Africa. They went to the Berlin Conference. They came up with their own maps and they divided what amongst whom. They did not consult the Africans in any African country. They just invaded and occupied and exterminated people because they wanted the land and the resources. So you are living in the modern day textbook. If you watch what is happening in Israel, this is how it happened before. But you don't have the information and you don't have a context. You are not safe there. You are financing war through inflation and your cost of living. I've said it. Let's see. Yeah. So nurturing say he's a self-taught. You have to be a self-taught historian. You have to be a self-taught historian. The history is there, the books are there, but all of these books and the researchers, they have a source. Drill down to the source. Get as close as you can to the actual source and facts and details. Information does not really get filtered to the web. Looking in detail. When you get a piece of information, drill down till you get to the source. And then you can make your own determination. Okay? We are using the Bible. Some people are using the Bible as a textbook, as a history book. It is only good for certain things. But remember, at the Council of Nicaea in 300 AD, that a lot of the books that were supposed to be in the Bible were excluded from the Bible for specific reasons. So you cannot use it all. There are some books like the Psalms that was taken out of, that was taken out of Egypt. There are certain books of the Proverbs that was also taken out of Egypt. There are certain books of the Song of Solomon that was taken out of the book of Jubilees from the Ethiopians. There's, so they're specific. The first 7 books, the Septuagint, right? That was taken out of the Torah. Okay, the Old Testament, the New Testament is all allegorical. There are certain books that were excluded, so you are only getting part and parcel of the information, and it is still not a history book. It is a chronicle. It is a chronicle of those chosen people of God, where they came from, who their descendants are, and their works and their acts. It is all about one people, one family, one tribe. So you're still not getting the full information. The 6th and 7th book of Moses, we're not looking for those books. We're not looking for the books that are not in there. If the thing is called the Septuagint, Sept, S-E-P-T, the word sept, when you break it down to Latin, it means the 9th. Okay? and des is the 10th, oct is the 8th. So when you have October, you're talking about the 8th month. When you're talking about November, you're talking about the 9th month. When you talk about December, you're talking about the 10th month, because you have that prefix of des. So if you're not studying Latin, you're also getting the information. If you're not studying Greek, you're also not getting the information. If you're not studying Hebrew, you're also not getting the information, because all that information is in those original texts. And if you're not studying Arabic, you don't know a thing about mathematics. You think you know concepts and ideas, but you don't have the knowledge or the source. So, hey, I've said a lot. I said a lot. Let's see here now. Wow. Wow. Yeah, so that's what I got for y'all. Hey, Shakola, how are you, beauty? Yes. So it's time for y'all to get out. Unless you have to do a deep dive into the resource, into the knowledge. I've said a lot. I've given you a lot of information. Send me an email, communicate, connect with me. I do not believe in words without works. If you're talking about God and you're talking about God's chosen people, words, go Google this, words without works. You cannot be talking about God and not be doing the work of God. You cannot be led without God. So you cannot have emptiness as your religion. You cannot wait for a sign to come from the sky, because it never has, never will, unless you're talking about aliens, which none of y'all has never seen. They only seem to be interested in kidnapping the Caucasoid people. So anyway, I digress. The sign that you're waiting for, this is it. The knowledge, the information that you're waiting for, you have information to go into your research, get the hell up on out of there, stop killing innocent children with your complicity, with your compliance and your indolence and your stupor. Stop killing folks just sitting in America and feeding their inflation machine with your money, your taxes, your time, and your energy. It is going to fight war with innocent people. It's going to Kenya to fight Haiti. It's going to fight the Russians. It's going all over the goddamn place, except for Memphis or Louisiana or where all them hungry little white folks are. Where well at least 30% of American children are living in poverty, but the money is going to war. Anyway, y'all email me. I've been on here 2 hours and 8 whole minutes. My jawline tired. I'm gonna go. Okay. Love y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Email me. It is time for you to go. Get the hell up on out. That's what the vision said, and I'm here to deliver it. All right. Bye-bye.